All right, strap yourselves in for this deep dive. We're taking a closer look at the Formula One scene and all the recent buzz around Williams and their new driver lineup.
Oh yeah, this is a big one.
We're talking about Carlos Sainz Jr.
And Alex Albon.
This isn't just your typical driver swap, though.
No, not at all.
Sainz is stepping out from a top team like Ferrari. I mean, he was scoring podiums there, even some wins. And now he's joining a team like Williams.
It's a bold move, you gotta admit. To go from a team like Ferrari with all its resources and history to Williams, which has, well, let's just say, they've had a rough patch.
It really makes you wonder what's going on in Sainz's head. Is this a calculated risk? Or is it, I don't know.
A sign of something else?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, think about it. He's fresh off his best season yet.
Absolutely.
And he chooses to join a team that's been, well, struggling.
It's a head-scratcher for sure. It raises a lot of questions about his motivations.
Definitely. And then you've got Albon. He's been working hard to rebuild his F1 career with Williams. And he's had a string of different teammates while he's been there.
Yeah, he's had Latifi, Sargent, even Colapinto for a bit.
And now he's up against Sainz.
A driver who comes with all that Ferrari experience? Talk about a challenge.
And you know what makes this even more interesting?
What's that?
Albon's been pretty open about finally having a teammate he can, as he put it, measure himself against directly. I mean, come on. Reading between the lines, you can practically hear the competitiveness roaring out.
It's quite a statement. And, you know, it kind of speaks to that fundamental drive in top athletes. They want to be tested. They need a rival to push them.
It's like they thrive on that constant back and forth, trying to one-up each other.
Exactly. And that ultimately pushes the boundaries of the sport. Think about those classic rivalries like Senna and Prost. They pushed each other to the absolute limit.
Absolutely. But okay, let's flip the script for a moment.
Okay, I like where this is going.
Let's talk about Sainz's motivation here. You're at the top of your game, driving for Ferrari.
The dream team.
And then you decide to switch to a team that's, let's be honest, not exactly in its prime?
Not exactly setting the world on fire.
What does that tell you about what Sainz is after?
That's the big question, isn't it?
I mean, maybe he's not content just being part of a winning machine.
Maybe he wants to be the one to build that winning machine, to be the architect of a team's comeback.
Yeah, that's a good point. It takes a certain kind of ambition to make a move like that.
It's a risk, for sure. But high risk, high reward, as they say.
Okay, so if that's the case, what does success even look like for Sainz at Williams? I mean, is he aiming for podium finishes? Or is this about something bigger?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? And honestly, I think for Sainz, success will be a bit more nuanced.
How so?
Sure, podium finishes would be incredible. It would show his individual talent and the progress the team's making. But I think his real legacy, the real measure of success here, will be how much he elevates Williams as a whole. Can he bring that Ferrari magic, that winning mentality, and really transform the team? That's what we should be watching for.
That's a really interesting way to look at it. So it's not just about individual wins, it's about changing the whole game for Williams.
Exactly. It's about leaving a lasting impact, building something from the ground up.
Okay, so we've got this really fascinating dynamic setting up.
Mm-hmm.
You've got Sainz, the seasoned veteran, trying to rebuild a struggling team.
Mm-hmm.
And then you've got Albon, this young contender, eager to prove himself against one of the best.
And all this is happening in the high-pressure world of Formula One. It's going to be a wild ride.
No doubt about it. This season is going to be full of twists and turns.
We're all on the edge of our seats waiting to see how it unfolds.
Absolutely.
But there's something else to consider here, too. It's not just about the talent and the ambition. Sainz is also walking into a whole different team environment. Ferrari, it's like a pressure cooker, right?
Oh, yeah, totally. It's intense.
Yeah, steeped in all that history and expectation. Every move is scrutinized.
Oh, absolutely.
Every little setback is magnified. But Williams, they have a much different vibe.
It's more relaxed.
Yeah, I'd say so. Almost like a family atmosphere.
It's interesting to think about how that impacts a driver.
Oh, yeah. Huge impact.
So I'm curious, how do you think Sainz will handle this change, this shift in environment?
Well, it really depends on the driver, doesn't it? Some drivers thrive under pressure. They need that intensity to push them. But others, they need space. They need to breathe, find their rhythm.
So which one is Sainz?
Well, he's handled the Ferrari heat, that's for sure. But can he flourish in a team where maybe the spotlight isn't so intense? That's the big question. It'll be fascinating to see how he adapts.
Totally agree. And, we can't forget about the fans in all of this. Sainz has a huge following, especially in Spain. They've seen him rise through the ranks, battle it out with the best.
And achieved some pretty incredible things at Ferrari, let's not forget.
Right. So how do you think they'll react to this move to Williams?
I think there's going to be a lot of mixed emotions. Disappointment, probably. I mean, they've seen him chase victories, stand on that podium, and now he's driving for a team that, well...
Let's just say they're not exactly setting the world on fire.
Exactly. But I also think there's going to be a sense of pride. You know, Spanish fans are fiercely loyal. They'll stick by Sainz, even if it means cheering him on from the midfield.
It's true. They love their drivers. It really shows you something about Sainz, though, doesn't it?
What do you mean?
That he's willing to risk alienating his fan base to take on this challenge. He's stepping out of his comfort zone, betting on himself, and his ability to turn things around at Williams.
That's a good point. He's definitely not playing it safe.
Yeah.
It makes you think about Albon, too, you know?
Yeah. How so?
I mean, his journey has been a roller coaster. He was Red Bull's golden boy, then with Toro Rosso, then a sudden exit from Formula One, and now the slow climb back up with Williams.
It's a comeback story for sure. He's faced some major setbacks, dealt with the pressure of being dropped by a top team.
Right, and yet here he is, back in the game, ready to face off against a former Ferrari driver. It takes resilience.
Resilience is right. And that grit is going to be tested now more than ever.
Yeah.
Going back to his comments about Sainz being a benchmark, I can't help but wonder,
Under what?
if this is going to light a fire under Albon. Like, could this be the thing that really unleashes his potential? Or could it backfire?
Oh, absolutely. It's a double-edged sword having a teammate like Sainz. On one hand, it's an amazing opportunity. He can learn from one of the best, push himself to new levels. But on the other hand, it can be really tough mentally.
Yeah, if you're constantly being outperformed, that's going to mess with your confidence.
It's a constant psychological battle, and the stakes are sky high for both drivers. So let's talk about the potential benefits, though.
Okay, I like it. Positive vibes.
Not just for the drivers, but for Williams as a team. What are the upsides here? What do you see?
Well, I think having a strong teammate is like having a built-in training partner.
A sparring partner?
It makes you work harder. You analyze your own driving more critically,
It's that iron sharpens iron thing, and for Williams, this pairing, it could be a turning point.
You think?
They'll be pushing each other, giving feedback to the engineers. It could really accelerate their development.
It's like a shot of adrenaline, straight to the heart of the team. They've been needing something to shake things up.
But we got to be realistic, too. Formula One, it's a complex sport. Success isn't a guarantee.
Right. There's so many factors at play.
The car, the engine, strategy.
And sometimes just plain luck.
Exactly. It's why we love it, though, right? All that unpredictability.
It's the thrill of the unknown. You can analyze all you want, but in the end, it comes down to the drivers. They're the ones out there on the track.
It's where that human element comes in. The passion, the determination, that will to win.
And the drama. Let's not forget the drama.
Oh, especially when you have two incredibly talented drivers going head-to-head. And, we can't ignore those comments from Albon either. Those comments about finally having a teammate he can really measure himself against.
They definitely caused a stir.
Some people saw it as a little dig at his previous teammates.
Yeah, I could see that.
Latifi, Sargent,
Yeah.
Colapinto.
It was a bold statement.
Whether it was intentional or not, though, it raises an interesting point.
What's that?
The importance of having a strong benchmark. Someone who pushes you, exposes your weaknesses. It's a mental game as much as it is a physical one. Thinking about it, there's another layer to all this. Sainz isn't just bringing his driving skills to Williams. He's coming from Ferrari.
Oh, yeah, he's bringing a whole wealth of knowledge with him.
Exactly. Ferrari, they're known for their cutting-edge tech, their relentless innovation.
I mean, think about it. He's spent years immersed in that environment.
Right. He's got insights into their development processes, aerodynamics, engine performance, the whole 9 yards.
It's like he's bringing the Ferrari playbook to Williams.
In a way, yeah. And that's gold for a team like Williams trying to make their way back up the grid.
But that brings up another question, doesn't it?
What's that?
Can Sainz actually turn that Ferrari knowledge into real improvements for Williams?
It's not as simple as just copying and pasting, right?
Right. It's a different team, different resources.
Exactly. Can he bridge that gap? Take what he's learned and apply it to a completely different environment.
It's a huge challenge. And that's where his leadership's going to be crucial. He'll need to inspire those engineers, show them that even without Ferrari's budget, they can still make some serious gains.
He's got to be a motivator, for sure. But let's not forget about Albon.
Yeah, what about him?
He's been with Williams for a while now, knows their strengths, their weaknesses, He's been a key part of their recent progress, however small.
He's got that insider's perspective.
Right. So how's he going to react to having a teammate who's basically a walking encyclopedia of Ferrari secrets?
It could go either way, couldn't it?
Exactly. Will he see Sainz as a threat or as an opportunity to learn, to step up his own game?
If he can absorb that Ferrari knowledge, adapt it to the Williams car, it could be a major turning point for his career.
Absolutely. It's almost like a social experiment, isn't it?
A social experiment.
You've got these two contrasting elements, Sainz with his Ferrari background and Albon ingrained in the Williams system. Can they actually combine those forces?
Create something truly unique.
Yeah, it's a long shot, but in Formula One, we've seen crazier things happen.
That's where we're all hooked, right? The endless possibility.
Exactly. It keeps us guessing. But we got to be realistic, too. There are risks here for both Sainz and Williams.
What do I mean? What could go wrong?
Well, for Sainz, what if Williams just can't give him a car that lets him shine?
He could end up stuck in the midfield.
Right. And that could hurt his reputation, affect his future prospects.
And for Williams.
What if Sainz gets frustrated? If that Ferrari magic just doesn't translate, they could end up losing a valuable asset without actually moving forward.
It's a gamble, for sure. But a calculated one, hopefully.
It's all about finding that balance, right? Ambition, talent, and a little bit of luck sprinkled on top. But that's the beauty of Formula One.
It's unpredictable. It keeps us all on the edge of our seats.
So as we head into this new season, let's leave our listeners with something to think about.
Okay, hit me.
We've talked a lot about how Sainz's Ferrari experience can help Williams.
Yeah, definitely.
But what about the other side of the coin? How might joining a team like Williams, a team that's rebuilding, actually impact Sainz's growth as a driver?
It's a great question. I mean, at Ferrari, he had the best of everything. The top resources, the support. But at Williams, he's going to have to step up in a whole new way.
Exactly. He can't just be a fast driver. He's got to be a leader.
A mentor. A driving force behind the team's development.
Exactly. It's a test of character, you know? Can he lift not just the car, but the whole team?
If he can pull it off, it'll be a testament to his talent. A driver who can win races and transform teams. But if it doesn't work out, well, it could be a tough fall from grace.
That's what keeps us coming back for more, right? The drama, the uncertainty. Formula One, it pushes boundaries, tests limits. It's a reminder that nothing is guaranteed, especially in this sport.
And on that note, we'll leave our listeners to ponder that question. As we gear up for what's shaping up to be a truly electrifying Formula One season, will Sainz and Albon be the ones to turn things around for Williams? Or will this gamble backfire? Only time will tell.
So buckle up, everyone. Grab your snacks. Get ready for another year of heart-stopping action, those incredible overtakes, and all the moments that make Formula One the most exciting sport on the planet.
And before you hit that track, don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more deep dives into the world of Formula One. We'll be back soon with more insights, more analysis, and those burning questions that keep you on the edge of your seat.
Until then, keep that racing spirit alive and let the speculation begin.